Yeah, I want to talk about mindfulness, the role that mindfulness can play in your routine and how it helps you prevent burnout and truly helps you see progress faster because you aren't doing this like start stop of doing all of the things and then feeling frustrated and tired and exhausted and like needing days to recover and then gearing back up to get started again. And I know you've probably been there. I've been there, especially these last few years. It's been really, really challenging. And we are primed right now for burnout, just with how life has felt these last few years. So, a few things I want to talk about the role of mindfulness and how you can add it to your daily routine to make it more successful. And maybe it's not even well, I don't want to say it's not a daily part of your routine because I think it is something I talk about daily, but um, techniques for reducing stress and increasing your relaxation on the regular that will help you maintain a kind of pace without this start stop, and also how to prioritize it. Like, okay, sounds great, but how do I actually make this work without feeling this like weird guilt? So, I want to give you this example of why I feel like it's so important for rest. If you're thinking about working out, for example, when you lift really heavy, you guys probably see like the reels and the memes and stuff of people that are like, oh, I can't walk down the stairs. Like it's a real thing. And you know it. You probably have worked out so hard one day or you've gone for a run that you're like, even sitting down to go to the bathroom is like a chore because it hurts so badly, right? Like you've been that kind of sore. Well, the thing is we are sore because our bodies got torn up during this workout that we did. Maybe it was lifting weights or running or doing whatever it is. Our body needs time to recover. So it serves our body to recover and grow because our body cannot grow muscle while we're working out. The only thing that happens while we're working out is we're breaking the muscle down. It's during the rest that the muscle starts rebuilding itself and it comes back stronger. Talk about strength gains, booty gains, what's up, right? It comes back stronger in the rest. So maybe that's where that phrase comes from, right? Coming back stronger. Um, I just I just think that's such a good example because we've all been there, right? So knowing that the true growth comes from us taking a break, another way that I want you to think about this, not even in a physical sense, but in like a creative space. I feel like I'm a creator. I'm creating content. I'm creating coursework and social media content and all of those things. But if I am so scheduled and regimented and I'm just like go, 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 I struggle coming up and being creative when I don't have space in my day. So, some things that I have to do to repair my brain so that I can think properly, right? Like, have you ever had one of those days you're just like, I just can't think? I'm so like frazzled. It's because you don't have enough space in your day, right? So, some simple things that you can do, like midday, I go for a walk almost. Oh my gosh, my dog is going to freak out. I go for a walk every day, almost in the middle of the day. If it's raining or something, I have my mix bike over here. I'll actually like hop on my mix bike and bike for like 10 or 15 minutes and listen to a podcast. Sometimes I read like a fiction book. I do read fiction books, I promise. I'm currently reading a really good one, actually. Um, but I just need something to like break it. I think what works really well for me, it sounds kind of woo woo again, is hopping on my bike or going for a walk and either not listening to anything or listening to meditation music, literally to clear my head. I need to clear my head. And it's usually on those walks that I come up with ideas, that I connect pieces that I was like struggling to think about, like, what am I going to do? How can I say this? What am I going to say? Um, you know what I mean? It gives you this space to think and to kind of fill in the gaps. Something else that I think works really well is I journal every single day. I do it every morning. I brain dump in the morning. Some days my journal is just a brain dump of like complaints. Frequently, it's a brain dump of maybe the previous day. I like starting my day, writing down my daily wins from the day before. I mentioned that in the previous video. I like doing that to start my day fresh sometimes, because it just feels good, right? I like writing out what I have going on that day, maybe what's stressing me out. I do have a mindset practice that I walk through and like work through some of my like really rough thoughts that I have. Because sometimes, just brain dumping a bunch of negativity can do more harm than good, but it is pretty cathartic. So suggest that. Something else that I'm pretty new to, only in like the last couple of years, and I finally have gotten my husband on board because I know I'm like in this woo-woo phase of doing guided meditations. I've tried meditating solo. That's kind of what I feel like when I'm walking. I'm just moving my body. So it's like my walking meditation. But I do guided meditations pretty frequently. There's actually some in my fitness app that I do all the time. I do them a lot in the middle of the day because they're 3 minutes. And I like having all of the recordings and everything. For somebody that like me is, I struggle with coming up with what am I going to think about, what am I going to do, and so it kind of removes some of those like intruding thoughts that you might have, and it's a guide, right? Like just like it says that it is. Yeah, I had to pause that. Work from home props. Somebody came to my door, so hey. The last thing that I wanted to share with you in this mindfulness piece is scheduling those things in. I know that this whole course is about routine, and we're trying to like, I'm just trying to get my workouts in, but it's like, wait a second, if you're going to schedule in workouts, also schedule in rest days, right? Pre-decide, give yourself permission to take those days off because it will feel better. I want to give you this example. When I started this online fitness business that I run, I started it about 5.5 years ago, partnered with Body, and I started this workout program called 80 Day Obsession. And it was 80 days long, 13 weeks. And even on the Sunday, I wouldn't even have called it like a rest day because it was like either stretching or mobility, something. I had something scheduled on my calendar. What happened was I spent 13 weeks with a scheduled workout every day, and I had never been so consistent in my entire life. I was like, oh my gosh, I found a thing that works for me. This is amazing. Like, I'm never not doing this. And the next program that I was like, oh, I'm so excited. Like, I'm going to try something new. And the workout calendar was a 4-day-a-week workout calendar. And I couldn't handle it because I was so afraid that if I took those rest days, I wasn't going to come back on Monday and work out. So I would like fill in the gaps with additional workouts, which totally defeats the purpose of that program, right? Like it was actually designed to work out 4 days a week with scheduled rest to help your body recover. But I hadn't like delved into that yet, right? I was like not into that. I didn't want rest. I just needed to like go, 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 go. Well, eventually, a year into doing this, I got really sick. Like I wouldn't even say I got sick. I had like these back spasms. I wasn't resting enough. I wasn't recovering enough. I wasn't sleeping enough. And it wasn't until I really started recognizing, like, wait a second, I really do need scheduled rest days. I cannot work out one day and it's okay. Now, granted, I had a year or so built up of trust with myself. And that's what happens, right? It's like, let me trust the process that I'm choosing this. This is what's scheduled on my calendar. And just because I'm not walking into my gym that day doesn't mean I'm not going to come back the next day. And by the way, it feels really good to give yourself a scheduled rest day, especially if you're a mom. I have 4 kids at home, like just deciding that, by the way, Sundays, I don't do any housework. I don't do any work. I don't work out. I just like live. And it feels really good. That's a newer thing for me, by the way. Normally, the old me, I like prepped for my week. I spent like 3 hours working. Nope. I now do that on Fridays. Wasn't that great? But it's because I started scheduling things in. I started reflecting on figuring out what was working, what felt good, what what was happening to me when I was becoming stressed out and overwhelmed. My husband is going through a process right now. I'm watching him as he's ramping up his business. He is, runs a couple things on social media, has multiple accounts, and he's like become really overwhelmed with showing up on social media every day and had getting through his task list. And last week he would have told you, he was 10 days into this new process. He's like, I feel so good. I'm getting so much done. I'm so productive. And then he didn't sleep very well on Sunday and he felt really stressed out. He didn't have enough rest. He wasn't taking a break. So the mindfulness is good. The rest is good. You need it. Give yourself the permission. On our last video, this next video, I'm going to walk you through how to keep it up and come back to this. You have access to all of this indefinitely. So come back to these things when you need something specific. But our last video is all about how to keep this going long term.